I think I'll pronounce it Spy X Family. No, you're wrong. The author said it's Spy Family, and the voice actors during the podcast also said it's Spy Family. And you're wrong, and you should feel bad. I'll pronounce it Spy X Family. Okay? We got that off the table? Cool. So, Spy X Family really gave the seasonal competition the equivalent of a prostate exam. That's fact. But it's sickening how y'all cheating bastards decided to completely forget about My Dress Up Darling, which was, frankly, RKO to the worst place possible. Brazil. But well, it's not like I'm any better. The siren of taste, the internet cloud lures every hungry hippo towards spreading the holy word of This guy. You might have noticed that since every anime-related subreddit or forum is flooded with this one pink-eyed girl. No, not this. Wait, who the fuck? And you can bet your moneymaker I won't let this chance slip by, since I like being the center of attention. And what better way to become exactly that than a video formatted monologue in which you can interrupt me? What's that? Oh yeah, still can't hear you. Spy X Family enjoys excellent ratings and receives positive feedback from every single corner around the world. But to this day, there are still people wondering whether watching 24 minutes from the first episode is worth the investment. Maybe it's too slice of life for them. Maybe it isn't slice of life enough for them. Maybe someone's put off by the unnecessary X in the title, cause God fucking knows I hate it. So, to help anyone cross that harsh bridge watching the first episode, if you haven't done so already, cause let's be honest here, you probably already have, and only decided to watch this video to see if I have the same opinion as you do. But nevertheless, I have made it my holy mission to summarize the series as best as I can. I'll try to keep the summary as brief and spoilerless as possible, but don't expect much. I've barely passed elementary school, and I only managed to do that by doing some favors I'm not proud of. By the way, keep in mind that every argument here is completely subjective, of course, and it's your right not to like them. Just remember that I'll most likely answer any hate comment with a ratio or your personal IP address, if it really hurt me. Yeah, I know where you live. Well then, I pronounced the X, yep. Shitting on TikTok, check. Personal threats, checkity check. Okay, I can stop talking about useless shit now. Hit it! Spy X Family plays in a fictional Cold War between two countries called Westphalia and Ostania, which is pretty much just West and East Germany respectively, minus, you know, the whole funky wonky communism part. As it's tradition in a Cold War, both sides tend to do a little trolling and spy on the other party with spies. You got it, that's where the spy part comes from. Bet you feel real smart now, huh? And that's where our main character comes into play. The best spy Westphalia has. The one your girlfriend tells you not to worry about. The one guy with whom I would seriously consider going on a date with just to feel like a real princess. Twilight. Damn, where did that come from? Oh, how could I forget? From the shitty script I wrote for the whole video. That's right, nothing's improvised. Your whole life is a lie. Having spent his whole life saving his country from the shadows, he's qualified for any task you give him. You want him to steal classified documents from a vault secure enough to hide your secret homework folder. He's got it. Consequently becoming a threat to any adolescent male in a 5-mile radius. You want him to play in an underground tennis tournament to get a hold of the secret idol stash of a politician. He's your man. By the way, this is not a joke, that's an actual plot point in the manga. Spoiler alert, I guess. You want him to care for you and cradle you into sleep, giving you the fatherly affection you needed for so long. God knows I do. Where was I? The story sets into play as soon as our boy receives details on a new mission called Operation Strix. Strix. What's even Strix supposed to mean? Oh no. To prevent a potential next world war, he has to get close to a certain individual from the Nationalistic Party, Donovan Desmond. Look at him. Look at those eyes. Beautiful. Just a shame that bitch is about as stranger friendly as a rabid raccoon and won't let anyone get close as long as you're not there to wipe his ass or give him that Samsung spin cycle sloppy toppy. Oh! That's why Twilight has to get close to him in some other way. And what better way to get to know a politician than, that's right, through an underage child. Luckily enough, Eden Academy, the school where all the cool kids go in this country, starts a new school year soon. And, by pure coincidence of course, the son of my boy, Mr. Desmond here, is soon to enroll in this exact school. That's also where the only argument why I might still have children someday enters the scene. The world is a cruel and unjust place. There's no harmony in the universe. The only constant is suffering. Minutes later. Oh my god! Anya. Yeah, not ashamed to admit that I started this show purely because of Anya. Well, and another reason which is not as wholesome, but I'll address it in a minute. If you haven't already seen the 2D pixels I would actually and gladly give my life for on every anime related website, here's a quick rundown. Our dear Anya comes from an orphanage, is about 6 years old, has 2 little horn things on her head, is a telepath, and, most importantly, likes peanuts. Yeah, you fucking do. Slay Queen. What's that? Oh yeah, she's a telepath. Can't have a main character without a quirk, can we? Twilight, or as he's known under his alias, Lloyd Forger, adopts a little girl. As a means to infiltrate the school Donovan Desmond's son is soon to attend. It's just that Lloyd hasn't realized that there are 2 faults in this plan. Sadly, and as much as I'd willingly give my life for her, well, how do I say this gently? Anya's a fuckhead. While Lloyd tries to save the lives of millions of people, Anya Fortnite dances on his plans by being a 6-year-old child. This creates the whole dynamic between her, who really just searches for anything that might excite her, and Lloyd, who has a whole world to save with his one single mission. Now, I did say there are 2 problems, right? Well, I don't want to spoil too much because that would be kind of a dick move, but to get to the school in question, an interview is needed with the whole family. And, as it's during the Cold War, everyone was looking out for anything and anyone out of place, with everyone snitching as soon as they notice something sus. That, sadly, includes families which might not look exactly normal. And here's a quick recap. We got a spy as a father, a telepath as a daughter, and, would you look at that, no mother. So, to look like a normal family, a mother is needed. Or else they might not even be accepted to the interview. Not to mention the whole thing with the state security police breathing down their necks like a herd of horny Discord mods. Sadly, our buddy Lloyd already expended his resources after dressing up his informant as a woman. Questionable choice, considering he's part of one of the biggest government organizations in his country. But apparently, there were no more female agents left. If you're wondering how that's possible, I could give you the answers you're searching for, weary traveler. But I don't wanna. Details aren't cool in the summary. So, as I thought, there's really just one option left. And you know what they say. Sometimes it takes a real man to become best girl. You might not like it, but this is what peak masculinity looks like. And as long as there isn't a brutishly strong and yet lovable stand-in for a mother who's also a secret assassin right around the corner, I won't give this position up for nothing.
監査局のブレナン次官ですよね。大変恐縮なのですが、息の根止めさせていただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
Okay. Forming the Holy Triumvirate as the third and last main character, Yor is exactly how I just described her. Having been forced by her dubious past to pick up the job of an assassin, the woman I'd forfeit all my mortal possessions to just to get cleanly kicked in the appendix, lives a life as a clerk at Berlin City Hall, which is just a cover naturally. Quiet receptionist at day and professional contract killer at night, she wishes to keep her current life as it is, offing anyone she's contracted to. How much does she charge again? While she may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, The parts she lacks, she compensates for with heartwarming compassion, the bloodthirst of any mother after you haven't taken out the chicken from the freezer, and pretty much convenience, as both parties, Lloyd and Yor, are willing to come up with a huge web of lies to achieve their goals. A fake relationship between them just seems logical. Isn't that romantic? Both don't want love, just the tax benefits. Romance. Personally, I'm not someone who believes in love at first sight, ignoring the fact that I just simped for the last 5 minutes. But if it's helping me with tax evasion, count me in. And that's how the family and pretty much the whole story started. Now, to the question of whether you should watch the show. Well, of course it depends. I won't just recommend the show to anyone out there, dumbass. What if you're someone who only likes shoujo as a genre and the whole romance aspect of it? Which I would totally get, by the way. I'm very lonely myself. What if you're someone who only watches isekai and your taste is the lowest of trash? Yeah, I see you. Don't pretend you're not out there. This is the part where I'm actually gonna say something productive, so you better not interrupt me. Alright, you can't! Still a video. While the genre of Spy X Family is highly compatible with most people out there, being an extremely well done mix of action, slice of life and comedy, it's still got some aspects that might not be quite as Gucci with you. Let's take the characters for example. Get your cursor off the dislike button right now. Listen to what I gotta say first. Because the show is still slice of life in many aspects, the characters' development is slight and gradual. They're charismatic and endearing to the core, but they don't go through a sudden evolution like a damn Pokemon, as the story is supposed to be slow paced. This does not mean that the characters are shallow or anything like that. They just take their time to grow, as the whole series only rarely derails from their daily lives. Again, slice of life. Although, with the diversity of the cast, even outside of the 3 characters I just introduced, there's surely going to be some character to your liking which will provide you with the variety you search for along the series. Even if it's just to say you like the pink-haired girl when she eats her peanuts. But the characters themselves most likely won't make a huge turn in behavior. Which leads me to the whole storyline in its entirety. While clad in the coat of an action-filled premise with a gritty post-World War setting, and being listed as a shonen series, it's still, most of the time at least, slice of life. If you didn't know, one of the most outstanding features of that genre is how slow paced it is. Don't get me wrong, the action sequences are as fast paced as you'd want them to be, with stuff exploding, shootouts left and right, and one or the other tense hostage situation. But the story in itself, that means the whole thing about Donovan Desmond and his plan to start another war, progresses at the pace of the snail that's coming for you after you took the $1 million. This, inherently, is not a bad thing. You get time to love the characters, get to know them and their motives, which, in turn, makes you more comfortable to spend your time watching their daily lives play out. But if you're searching for some James Bond-like cock and ball torturing 3 AM you killed your roommate after this episode kind of intensity and speed, this might not be the anime for you. What this show excels at though, is the wholesomeness it shows in pretty much every scene and the perfect mix of action it manages to portray. I most likely just can't recall any titles right off the top of my head because I'm an idiot, but I don't remember any shows that have tackled the wholesome aspect of slice of life with action as well as this show. While it may be slow in real story progression, at no point will you ever feel like it's just gonna drag out the story for the sake of watch time. Unlike this video, I need to get to the 10-minute mark. While Operation Strix may establish the whole setting and bring the cast together, it's not the most important aspect of the story. It's more like a general guideline the characters live by, similar to me and the Geneva Convention. Fun fact! Turtles can't be prosecuted for war crimes. Conclusion time. Woo! Yeah! As I wouldn't make my first video about it otherwise, you probably already guessed that I like the show. The chemistry between the characters works extremely well, and this is one of the points I watch out for, especially in this genre. None of their conversations seem boring, and there's always something unexpected happening in this weird mix of a setting between post-World War era and 3 over-the-top characters. To be honest, it's just something easy to watch while you're having a bad day or just trying to have a good time. Too long didn't watch. Spy X Family is a slice of life anime disguising itself as an action anime with its spy setting. While executed extremely well, it's more wholesome than tense. Don't like that? Don't watch it, dickhead.